The NFL season is back, and you know what that means. It's time for the Dallas Cowboys to disappoint us as usual. Wait, what? They actually played pretty good? Huh. I guess Dak Prescott is truly back. He was slinging the ball around like a man with a healthy ankle and shoulder. However, Dallas didn't account for one thing. They were playing Tom Brady. That poor defense, they were all indoctrinated into the TB12 way. Antonio Brown was there as well. Turns out when he's not getting into fights with teammates, he's actually a pretty good wide receiver. Congratulations, Buffalo. You are now Super Bowl contenders. The sky's the limit with your top 5 QB, leading a great offense and enough playmakers on both sides of the ball to be a real threat to all who oppose you. What will you do with this golden opportunity presented to you on a silver platter? You choke away all hope. A blocked punt and some terrible play calling decisions soured what should have been a statement win. I'm still not fully convinced the Steelers are contenders, but that defense is truly elite, and that Melvin Ingram signing seems to be working out, and also TJ Watt. It's good to see him get paid. The more things change, the more they stay the same. On one side, the Seahawks, hoping to prove they are still the kings of the West. Their offense was clicking throughout the entire game. Russell Wilson is a very charitable man. He showed that by spreading the love to all receivers. Not only was the passing game on point, but the run game was solid. On the other side of the coin, the Colts, they weren't exposed, but I think we saw today that if you take away that defense, this is a very beatable team. They weren't terrible. In fact, I think Carson Wentz was efficient enough, but they simply couldn't keep up with the Hawks and that amazing passing attack. And clearly, the game of the week this week was the Jaguars versus the Texans. The future in Jacksonville looks a little bit less bright after Trevor Lawrence led an okay offense, and he honestly didn't receive too much help from any of his running backs or offensive line or coaching decisions. But what killed this team was that defense. They gave up 37 points to the Texans. And not just the Texans, a Texans team that's led by the offensive trio of Tyrod Taylor, Mark Ingram, and Brandon Cooks. Houston, after all the countless endless memes, the divisional loss to the Chiefs, the cheating scandal in baseball, James Harden ditching town, Deshaun Watson trying to ditch town, maybe this city has finally paid for their sins. But then again, it's Houston, so I doubt it. Oh my god. Do the Eagles have a good team? Jalen Hurts played like a Pro Bowler. He could be the next great mobile QB. Also, remember when people said Devontae Smith was too small to play at the NFL level? Guess they forgot that elite strength coaches exist. And on the Falcons side, well, for a team with Calvin Ridley and possibly the greatest tight end prospect of all time, the offense was flat. And some people thought this team would be half decent this year. Embarrassing. These two teams are more similar than you may think. Two teams with optimistic futures trying to see if they can truly take the next step. For the Chargers, the return of Austin Eckler and an improved O-line should make this offense deadly. And for Washington, it's a more old-school style of physical football, with a strong rushing attack and great defense making them a force to be reckoned with in an already weak NFC East. For today, it was a victory for LA, but it could have gone either way, and Washington put up a solid fight, but they were no match for Justin Herbert. The Bay is back, baby, and Jimmy Garoppolo knows he needs to pick it up with Trey Lance on his heels for the starting QB job. 300 passing yards, because no way some kid is going to take the starting job that easily. Jimmy G is a general, and Deebo Samuel was his tank. 189 yards. Nick Bosa has also returned to reestablish himself as one of the best pass rushers in the league. I will give the Lions credit, though. Sure, Jeffrey Okudah covers worse than Scotch tape on the Titanic, but DeAndre Swift and TJ Hawkinson were productive skill players, and I'll give Jared Goff credit. He didn't completely suck, he just kind of sucked. Bengals fans, here's your hope. Savor it, as you may not keep it for long. It wasn't a pretty win, and I thought Joe Burrow was gonna die behind that O-line, but hey, when it mattered most, you guys came through. I can't make fun of that. Joe Burrow was very good, and Jamar Chase learned how to catch a football, so that's pretty cool. As for the Vikings, what was that? 17 fouls. So much potential. The pass rush played great. Kirk Cousins was getting carried by Cook, Thielen, and Jefferson, but when it mattered most, and you had an opportunity to win, what did you do? You spoiled it. Watching this team is like watching a ship burn down. A slow, but inevitable collapse. This game put the entire Jets organization on trial. What for? Attempted murder. Of who? Sam Darnold. For years they wasted him and stunted his development. However, the key word is attempted, and that's because Darnold played a solid game. Zach Wilson played decent as well. He has potential, but the question is whether or not the Jets will capitalize on his potential. And I don't know. It's probably not if we're going off of history. I will say the Panthers might have something with that defense, though. They got some young pieces like Jeremy Chin and Derek Brown that I really like, unlike the Jets, who might give the Ravens a run for their money when it comes to injuries on a single team. The Cardinals scare me. 5 touchdowns from Kyler Murray. Sure, he was against a terrible, terrible Titans defense, but still, this offense could easily be a top 5 in the league. But the best part is that it seems as though they have an actual defense this year. Chandler Jones had 5 sacks. Not only that, but they held Derrick Henry to under 60 yards. The Titans were supposed to be an improved offense, and they may be, but if they're allowing 30-plus points every game because their biggest defensive player is freaking Bud Dupree, who's really overrated, then Tennessee is going to lose a lot more games this season. In my opinion, this was a game of the week. 2 genuine Super Bowl contenders in an offensive battle. The Browns' defense has definitely taken a step up with guys like Jadeveon Clowney and John Johnson. However, something about them just wasn't good enough. It's like they just needed one piece, and I have a feeling maybe Baker. He's a solid QB, but when the entire offense is on his back, he's just struggled in the past when he can't share some of the load with Nick Chubb. Speaking of the defense, Jesus, the Chiefs suck at defense. Like, just stop them one time, Kansas City. This defense is pretty bad. I honestly don't have that much to say about this one. Like, similar to the Washington Chargers game, this game could have been very different very easily. I think when we look back on these two teams' seasons, this game will be much more important than we realize. These two teams should be battling for a wildcard berth, making those tough, close games against division rivals all that more important. Also, I'm not fully convinced Mac Jones wasn't designed in a lab by Bill Belichick. I mean, he's unathletic, NFL-ready right out of college, and white. He checks all the boxes. Is anybody even talking about this game? Like, for real. I watched the highlight video on YouTube, and I still have no idea what happens. Like, what is there to say? Like, I guess I should just start listing some of my fiery hot takes. Teddy Bridgewater had a solid game. The Giants' O-line still sucks. Daniel Jones is bad. Von Miller is good at football. Ooh. I know, I'm so brave. Jesus, what was that? No, genuinely, what was that? That might have been one of the most pathetic performances I've seen from a team with Super Bowl aspirations. I mean, the Saints are a flawed, beatable team, and you made them look like Super Bowl contenders. Aaron Rodgers played hesitant the entire game. His O-line and rushing attack didn't help either. And genuine question, how is Kevin King still a quarterback at the NFL level? This man repeatedly just gets absolutely burned all the time. He's so bad, I'm noticing defensive back play. Me, a casual. It's always nice seeing a veteran player get a second chance on a new team. Matthew Stafford was dying in Detroit, constantly having to come back from massive deficits. He has the talent, but it's as a deep ball gunslinger. But for over a decade, head coaches have tried to turn him into a short pass Tom Brady type player. Now, he has one of the best coaches in the league, a solid O-line, speed at the receiver position, and one of the best defenses in the league. And he played as well as you would think, burning the Bears' defense for 300 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Now, Chicago, on the other hand... Wait. Did you hear that? What the Bears, losing on Sunday night since 1920. Who is leading this powerhouse franchise? You're damn right, it's Andy Dalton. The Red Rifle is here to bring mediocre football back to the Windy City. But it's not just Andy, it's Justin Fields, a first-round pick who is being used as a gadget QB similar to Taysom Hill. Because screw a sense of flow in the offense, let's stop a drive to show off the kid. The Bears. Ooh. Okay, let's talk about the Ravens game. So yeah, that game was rough. I'm not doing a little edited, highlight, written, segment for this game, because I just kinda want to talk about it. So, the Baltimore Ravens lost in a overtime game against the Las Vegas Raiders. Not good. Not good. Now, to be fair, I did think that there was going to be a chance that we'd lose this game. The Raiders are opening in their new stadium and all that. But this was kind of sad. Let's go over the positives first. Lamar played great. He had like 300 total yards, a touchdown. Did have 2 fumbles, but honestly, I don't think he would ever be in the position to get that second fumble if we wouldn't have made it to overtime and put him in a position where he could get that second fumble if he didn't play as good as he did. So yeah, I don't have any quarrels with Lamar. He overthrew he had a couple iffy drives, but overall I think he was extremely good in the pocket, and when he needed to, run, he could do it because he's Lamar. Another thing I want to talk about is the running back room. Don't know what we're doing with them. Latavius Murray was okay, walked in for a touchdown. He should be a solid enough second back. And then there's Tyson Williams, who had that amazing touchdown and a couple of really good handoffs. And that's about it, because we only gave him the ball like 5 times. We have established the past, 3 years of our game plan have been focused around the rushing attack. And then all of a sudden, we just change it? Why? He played great, but he didn't have any opportunities to actually get the ball. He got a couple of passes thrown to him, but, we need to hand the ball off to him more. To see more, I want to see more of this guy, is essentially what I'm saying. But we didn't, because that would make sense. Another thing I want to talk about is the wide receiver room. I think they all played real solid. Devin Duvernay was pretty good. Sammy Watkins was honestly a pretty good playmaker throughout the game. Marquise Brown had a great game. I see massive amounts of improvement from that side, from that position group, and it should only get better when Boykin is back and Rashad Bateman. I think Rashad Bateman will be a great deep ball threat with his physical ability, and I think Miles Boykin is a much better one blocker than any other wide receiver on the team. Now, next thing to talk about is the tight ends. I miss Hayden Hurst. I know he's been gone for 2 years now, but I still miss Hayden Hurst. Mark Andrews. He is a really good tight end. Do not get me wrong. He is possibly the best pass catcher in the whole team. But some of those, I think you might have dropped 2 massive plays, and it's come on, man. That was rough. We're going to leave the offensive line. Actually, no, I want to talk about the offensive line right now. What was that? Genuinely, what was that? Villareva, some of the plays Villareva made were insane, and not in a good way. Max Crosby, I'm not going to say that he ate him up the whole game, because that would require for him to come into contact with Villareva, which he didn't really do. He just kind of ran around him, and Villareva just did nothing about it. So yeah, that wasn't great. Lonnie Stanley didn't play great either, possibly out for next game. Same thing with Marquise Brown. But honestly, at this point, how much worse can the offensive line truly get? Lonnie Stanley, I'll cut him some slack. He is coming off of ankle injury. We still didn't know till around beginning of the season if he was even going to play week 1. So I'll cut him some slack there. Kevin Zeitler didn't impress me either. So yeah, all of the additions to the offensive line, the big additions of Lonnie Stanley coming back, Villareva and Kevin Zeitler, the 2 signings, didn't end well. Didn't end very well at all, which kind of sucks. Now, I want to talk about the offensive play calling, which, as always, was garbage. Wasn't good. Wasn't good. Actually, you know what? The play calling, there weren't too many terrible plays, but that one 4th down time we tried to run with Tyson Williams, just run it up the middle with Latavius Murray at that point, or maybe go for a pass because Lamar had been like perfectly accurate up to that point. Maybe have Lamar won because it turns out he's pretty good at that. Why do I hate that play? I hate that specific play we do. I hate the handoff to I hate the handoff to the running back. I hate that specific the the one. Hated that play a lot. And that was pretty much the start at the end for the Raiders' comeback. And our defense kind of just let it happen. The defense kind of just let the Raiders come back. And I'm not sure how much of it was actually on the players. Some of the play calling on the defensive side of the ball was just baffling. Just stop blitzing every down. It hasn't worked once. It hasn't worked yet. We blitzed so much last season because we had the good secondary to actually hold them there. We had the blitzing worked so well because the QB were trying to throw the ball too fast because they sensed the pressure, and then guys like Marcus Peters or Marlon Humphrey would jump out and get the interception. Now we don't have Marcus Peters. That strategy doesn't work too well. Also, blitzing doesn't usually work too well if you never get pressure on the quarterback in the first place. It's insane. It's baffling to me. The amount of times we just leave the middle just completely open for like a slant route or something like that. Again, I think the actual talent on the defense played solid. Marlon Humphrey was as locked down as always. Chuck Clark is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated safeties in the league. I actually was a little impressed by Anthony Averett and Kenny Young. They didn't completely, poop the bed. They played fine enough. But that is still a weak point on the secondary, in my opinion. And the actual defensive line played great sometimes. Sometimes. Odafe Owe has the speed of fucking Usain Bolt. It's insane how much raw talent that guy has. He got a sack and a half, I think. I think it might not have given him the sack after he touched Derek Carr after the fumble. The over-the-head snap thingy. Patrick Queen also got a sack. I was really interested on seeing how he and Malik Harrison improved their pass coverage skills. I still do not know how good at pass coverage they are, because I don't think I saw them covering someone once that whole game. They were just blitzing up the middle. And sure, Patrick Queen and Malik Harrison, really good at that, but it just makes me mad. So yeah, that was the Ravens game. I genuinely do not see this team getting too much better, simply because of the fact that the play calling is abysmal. Ravens fans have been complaining for like 2 years now about Greg Roman. I think he was fine for the most part this game, but Wink Martindale, I've had a bone to pick with this guy for a while, because before, he would be able to just call bad plays, but then get bailed out by talent. But now we're injured, so we don't have as much talent, especially in that secondary. So the Raiders just ate us up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And sure, they have a solid offense for guys like Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, Henry Ruggs can get a few catches a game, Derek Carr's a top 10 quarterback. But, God, there were so many opportunities where we could have just, killed, just stomped their throat and get the kill shot. But we just kept on. We gave them every opportunity to come back, and then we got surprised when they did. Screw this team. And I don't see it getting any better with the goddamn Chiefs game next. Alright, but screw the recap videos. We all know we're here for the power rankings of Week 1. At number 32, we got the Jets. 31, we got the Jaguars. 30, we got the Falcons. Then Panthers. Then Lions, rounding out our top 5, or our bottom 5. Then 27, we got the Giants. Then the Bears. Then the Texans, who were number 32 when I did my initial power rankings video. Then the Eagles, who have bumped up a couple slots. Broncos staying the same. Vikings moving down a couple notches. Bengals moving up. Titans with a massive drop after that just absolutely depressing loss to Arizona. Washington staying about the same. Patriots and Colts moving down. Then the Raiders with the biggest uptick of Week 1, or actually the second biggest uptick, followed by the Steelers and Cowboys, all looking to make a name for themselves in their respective divisions. Then the Packers with that massive drop after the loss to the Saints. Chargers moving up a little bit, Dolphins moving a little bit down, Ravens rounding out, beginning our top 10, with the Saints at number 9, Bills dropping down to number 4, the Seahawks moving up, 49ers moving up, Browns staying the same to enter our top 5. Number 4 is going to be the Chiefs, then Rams, then Cardinals, then Bucks. Look at that uptick. Is this overhype, or are the Cardinals actually Super Bowl contenders? We'll see. Week 2.